Actually, what I would really like to talk about is a show. I'm sure you guys have heard about it by now because it's been really huge. It's called Adolescence. It's on Netflix. I'm just gonna straight up say I cannot recommend the show enough. I think this is probably easily going to be probably one of the best shows to come out this year. Like it's really gonna sweep the awards. I bet. I was just really blown away by this show. It's probably one of the most important shows you can watch during this time. It deals with a lot of relevant topics happening right now in our society. So if you're unfamiliar, I'll give you the basic premise. The story follows this kid. His name is Jamie. He he's accused of murder, and you're basically seeing the investigation and how things proceed, and it is absolutely brilliant. I thought about doing a straight up just Robby reviews on it, but I couldn't really put it into a script that much. I feel like I just need to let loose my thoughts on it instead of just follow like a script. So it follows this kid getting accused of murder, and you're just left watching the investigation and things unfold. By the way, there will be spoilers for the show, but I urge you to go watch it. Just take it's only 4 episodes. Just take the 4 hours and then maybe come back if you want to hear my thoughts, because it is really one of the most important shows I think you can watch, especially right now. I can't really think of any other shows that are important as this one right now. It's a must watch. Just take it. I promise it. You're going to be left very uncomfortable and very sad, but it is like a necessary watch in my opinion. I needed to just knock down every episode here because holy shit, there's just a lot to unpack with each episode. First of all, I have to praise the filmmaking aspect of this show because every episode is shot in one take. Every episode is done in just one take. That isn't, and I mean the whole episode. There are no cuts, there are no butts, there are nothing. It is all shot in one take. And it's not besides and none of these episodes take place in one area either. They're all in various locations. They all move around. The camera is just keeps rolling at all times. It is ridiculously impressive. And all these actors, they say so much. There's so many lines. There's so many things. There's so many moving pieces. It is just incredible the amount of work that went in making it one shot. And you know me, I'm a sucker for one shot stuff. I love me some one shot fight scenes. I love me some one shot anything. And an entire show of that is just insane. And especially a show this gripping is just incredible. So yeah, you gotta knock it out to the production crew for making it one shot. That is just insane. And also, I have to give credit to the acting in this show. The acting from everybody across the board is incredible. Everyone puts in a 10 out of 10 performance. Especially Stephen Graham. He plays the dad. I'm sorry, but I'm blanking on his name. I don't remember his name, but he plays the dad. Just such a great performance. And of course, I have to mention the kid. This kid, his name is Owen Cooper. He plays Jamie, the main kid. And I had never heard of him before, and I looked him up. I cannot believe that this kid, this is his first role ever. This show. This is his first work of acting. That blew me the fuck away. I could not believe that this is his first acting role ever. I really could not believe that because he's incredible. It's one of the best performances I have ever seen. The way he's able to just shift from an innocent child or a crying child to just straight up just a psycho to just full on rage and outburst is insane, but it's done very realistically. It is so fucking good. I could not believe that this is the first time this kid has ever acted. If he chooses to pursue acting, my god, he's gonna be a superstar. He really has a bright future ahead. Yeah, the acting is just on a whole nother level. Like, holy cow! I need to just run by it through every episode. So the first episode follow it starts off like hot immediately. The police raid this place. They raid the kid's place. They arrest him, and you're just watching basically the booking process going on. You don't know anything, by the way. All you know is that this kid is accused of murdering this poor little girl, and you were just waiting to see what's going on, like waiting for all like the evidence to transpire. And what I love about this show also, it doesn't follow any tropes you typically see in like a legal show. You know, typically he'd be like a wrongly accused person, but no. But no, it doesn't follow that. It it takes quite the opposite approach. So basically you're just seeing the entire booking process. He gets a lawyer, he gets I forget the name of it, but it's when like a kid is accused of a crime and he chooses to have an adult with them. You see him go through the process of deciding what parent he eventually chooses his dad. Um, and this kid, man, this kid's acting is just so good. Like throughout the episode, he's like a sick puppy. You know, you just like feel bad for him because you're like, okay, could he have done this? But they don't show us anything. They just don't show us anything. All we know is that this is an accusation, and they're just booking him like he's an everyday criminal. And keep in mind, all of this is done in one take. We're seeing this all transpire in one take. And the way this show feels, I also have to praise this. The show also manages to feel authentic but look good. I find with authenticity, I watched a movie called Wreck recently, and it's like the zombie movie that feels just ridiculously real, but it's not shot very well. But that's on purpose because it's like you're seeing it through the lens of another person. And whereas I feel when things are trying to be real, but they just look like an obvious like Hollywood production, I find I don't buy it enough. But this show, it manages to be that. It manages to feel like authentic, but also just look really good. The show looks really good. Like I can buy everything that's going on here. I think the one take aspect has a result of that. Well, anyway, we see the booking process, and then it finally gets to the interview. The kid has his dad present, a lawyer present, and they're asking him all the questions about what happened that night of the murder. You know, piece by piece, we just see, you know, them unraveling the case, and we just see we're going along with the evidence as Jamie is right now. And as it goes on and on and on, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. You know, we know he was hanging out with her that night with some friends, and then he started following her. And then the episode decides to end with a fucking mic drop that like hasn't shocked me, and I haven't gotten shocked by a fucking mic drop moment in a long time. But this show managed to do it. They just straight up just showed the CCTV footage of Jamie murdering this woman, and you're like, holy shit. And we're just like the dad right now who is just stunned, like his whole world just crumbled around him. He had no idea his son could be capable of such a thing, and then he just saw it, despite his son saying he didn't do this. And yet we just saw the footage of him. We saw the footage of him just attacking her. We're like, holy shit. And then you realize the show is not about the if he did it, it's more about why this happened. Why did this happen? And it just fucking throws the cold water on you right from that moment then. And then episode 2 follows the detectives who are interviewing him, who are great by the way. They were great as well. They go to the school he attended, and you really get an insight to like the children into these schools. And what shocked me is I don't know if this is just standard. I should point out that the show takes place in England, in the United Kingdom. Um, it takes place in London, so all the characters are British. And what shocked me about the school is how like clean it looked. It literally, maybe it's just the state of them in the UK, but like in America, the schools, there's a lot of schools that look like absolute shit. Like the school they went to, that Jamie went to, I would have to pay top dollar to send my kid to. Like only like the 1% of 1% of like parents could be able to afford that school. I don't know if that's just a standard school, but god damn, that school looked amazing. It looked like pristine. Like you only expect like, like Ivy League students to be going here. But it's not. They're just shitbag students. They're just real prickish students. They're all like Zoomers. They're all doing like TikTok stuff. They're all just saying like the worst shit. They're all just being fucking little shits, right? And so the detectives go to the school. They're trying to investigate and see if like mainly like because Jamie had two friends. They're trying to see if they know anything, and we're implied that one of them is like basically just snitched him out, but the other one is like keeping like a secret, but we don't know what it is. And as the detectives investigate, they find out what basically the show wants to tell us is that Jamie fell in with the like red pill stuff, like the Andrew Tate stuff, like the fuck bitches get money shit. He was really like into that like sort of content you see online. But the problem is he was, and keep in mind Jamie's only 13. He's still like just a child. But yeah, he was like in love with this stuff, but he didn't have a girlfriend or anything, so he was basically bullied relentlessly by the woman he killed for basically being an incel. And it's implied that like all the other students did it too, because one of the detectives has their son there, and then they just he reveals like all this info about it. And I love that at the end of the episode, it's like we see that the detective and his son don't really have the best relationship. It very much seems like he's just like buried himself in his work and kind of just like ignored his son. But by the end, when he learns all this info, he just drops everything to go hang with his son. And it's kind of beautiful. It's kind of a beautiful moment. You realize he doesn't want to make that mistake, so it was really beautiful. But anyway, as it goes on and on, the detectives went to go question one of the kids. And I will say, I really have like two negatives to say about this show. Is one, there is a chase scene that happens immediately when one of the detectives chases Jamie's friend. I should point out that this detective is like jacked. He is very much in fit. This is a fucking beast of a man. And the kid he's chasing is just like a scrawny little kid. And the chase scene goes on for 2 minutes, like well shot and everything, but am I really supposed to believe that this jack detective cannot catch up to this kid? It kind of just pulled me out a little bit. And also, I don't really like how they portray the girl who got murdered in this show. What we know of her is that she was a bully, and that's it. We don't really know much else about her other than that. And it's like, you're able to show me the intricacies and the complex nature of like the murderer, the boy who did it, but you can't do it for the lady. It's like, what are we doing here? I get they were like focusing on this like one aspect of the show. They were focusing on like the message about like young men. But come on, you can at least like say more about the woman that was murdered other than she was just a bully. I'm sure there was much more to it than that. That did not go well at all. But out of all the stuff in the show, that if I can only come up with really two things I don't like, that makes it a pretty good show. But then anyway, I'm rambling on. The detective finally catches the kid, and he reveals that the knife that Jamie used to kill the girl was his. Uh, this friend gave it to Jamie, and he used it to murder this girl, and which makes him an accessory to murder. So they arrest him. And yeah, like I said before, it ends with the detective going to hang out with his son after realizing, you know, what the shit like these kids go through. Like it seems like just a lot of these kids just have like really fatherless behavior, but we realize that they all probably have fathers. It's just it's something else entirely, and we find that out in the next episode. The next episode follows Jamie in this uh in this therapy session with a psychologist. And this episode is really where this kid gets to show his acting chops because he is incredible. The shit I said earlier about like him being able to like transform like at the snap of a finger is present in this episode. I just blew myself up. God damn it. So you really get to see him just show off his acting ability, and it is insane. There's just so much to pack in this one episode. It's easily one of the most gripping episodes of television I've ever seen. So much is just said in this episode. Like, okay, so the problem with Jamie is that, like I said, he fell in with the Andrew Tate red pill shit that we see online all the time. The women belong to men mentality that these assholes say. Like the alpha male shit, all that bullshit that honestly no one should believe. If you want, I've gone on rants like this before, but I think all that shit is just bullshit that no one should be following. It's only going to get you into trouble. I think all that shit is just incredibly harmful to the world. And I think a lot of these men who just follow it just need to just man the fuck up and just smarten up. No, you cannot tell me that men are losing power in the world when Donald fucking Trump is president. That man's like the most incompetent shit ever, but he's somehow president. Like, you really just cannot tell me that. And it's not every man, but it's certainly a large portion of men that just need to be better. And I also blame it on like lack of good role models. Like your child should not be listening to someone like Andrew Tate, who literally has a fucking sex trafficking case right now. Like these boys, these young men just need better role models. And not a fucking smartphone. I'm not gonna say they don't need a smartphone, but maybe they don't need like TikTok and social media. And that's basically what this episode is about, showing like what he listens to and what he thinks about like certain things in society, like especially on women. Like the first like glaring red flag we see is that he treats his father a lot differently than he does his sister and his mother. He treats them a lot differently. And it's very subtle, but it's very interesting. I noticed it like almost like immediately, like when they were at the police station, like how he instantly wanted his dad and not like his mother. Even though the dad said his mother would be better for this situation. No, he claimed he wanted his dad. And another thing we know evidently is that um I should point out that the therapist, the psychologist, is a woman, and Jamie honestly believes that he cannot be controlled by a woman. Even though as we go on and on, that's exactly what happens. Basically, she's able to control him and not like manipulate him, but like she's able to handle him very well. She's a very clearly experienced. Like this is probably like the 10th kid she's helped like this today. It was just very fascinating how he felt he has to be in control, even though he's very clearly not. And something else that's really interesting is, God, some of the shit he says is just fucking crazy. I mean, Jamie, like some of the shit he says about women is just insane. Like it's insane to be coming out of anyone's mouth, let alone like a 13-year-old. Like he straight up says, "I could have touched her, but I didn't," and he really thinks that makes him a better man for some reason. And then he also has like the fucking nerve to say like some nasty shit like she was flat, nobody wanted her, but I wanted her because I thought she'd be easy. You know, I heard a bunch of that shit in high school from these like fucking kids. I'm like, wow. So it's kind of shocking to see like a younger kid just like say this shit, you know? It was just fucking insane. And keep in mind, he acts like innocent for like he acts like a kid for like most of it, and then he'll just flip the switch and just say like the most like misogynistic shit. It was fucking insane. Like holy shit. And keep in mind, he has like a few like mental breakdowns in here where he'll just like scream and get very rageful because he doesn't like a certain thing or whatever. Like it's like my god. And it's clear that all the stuff that he sees on social media, like the alpha male shit, the like red pill bullshit, it's just really like affected him. He really like thinks it's true and right. And I'm like really so glad this is like the first show I've seen that actually tackles like stuff like this, like we see online, and just show how dangerous and harmful it can be, especially to a very like young mind. Like look at this shit we see on like Elon Musk's Twitter now. Just go in the comments section, especially if like a woman is under, just read the comments on it, and it's just like, why are we just allowing this? Why are we allowing a bunch of like young men to be losers like this? And of course, Elon's at fault for allowing this shit. It's just like, why are we normalizing this? And I know what some of you are gonna say, oh, it's just online. Who cares? Well, you can't tell me that when women get killed over this shit. I mean, that's essentially what happened in the show. The girl rejected Jamie, and he straight up fucking killed her. And I read online that the UK like apparently this is what inspired the show. The UK has like a problem of like young men stabbing women to death. Like you can't just ignore this shit and just say, "Oh, it's only a few pair of men." While that may be true, it's still a lot of men. A 1% is still a lot of men. That's too many to be acting like this. And the saddest thing is, I don't really know if I have a solution for it. I don't really know if there's a solution for it. I think we're just too far gone with letting kids have social media and like smartphones. Like really, this show made me like rethink like, man, I don't really think kids should be on social media, especially now with the way the internet's gone. Because if you allow them on one side of the internet and they stay there for a little bit, they're stuck there. Just look at like how aggressive the algorithms are today. And it's made to a point in the next episode with his dad where he says he was looking up gym stuff, and then all of a sudden he lands on a page where a man just straight up just screams, "Women are my property," like that sort of thing. It's just it reminds us how easy it is to fall into those, and how easy they pretty much just indoctrinate us. The power of indoctrination, it's deadly. It is deadly. So yeah, it was just a fascinating acting case and just a fascinating look at what the dangers of this like red pill shit can do to a young man like Jamie. And what's sad is that just because it's gotten him so young, it's not really gonna go away. And this psychologist knows that because at the end of the episode, she kind of breaks down in tears, just knowing that like it's really no one's fault, but like man, the world really just failed this kid. The world really just did him wrong like this. And there was really nothing that can be done about it. It was just very sad, just that really bleak just realization. And I also even forgot to mention that the psychologist basically just like kind of just made him just admit the murder when he says that I could have touched her but I didn't. You know, like thinking that he's better for that, like you didn't just kill her. He shows like a disturbing like lack of remorse for killing her too. Like he really doesn't it really doesn't seem to bother him that he killed this woman. He kind of treats it like it's just whatever. It was just a woman, who cares? It is like fucking shocking. It would be shocking to come out of just anybody, but let alone like a 13-year-old boy. It's crazy. But yeah, God, episode 3 is truly a masterpiece. Like, if this starts playing in like kids' classrooms, I really would not be shocked. And the final episode is basically seeing the family's life a year outside of that, as Jamie is basically incarcerated somewhere. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this episode is a gut punch. I very rarely cry during watching movies and shows, but man, this episode really got me. I wasn't like I wasn't like doing like that, but I was really tearing up hard. It was just fucking sad because the big thing about this is that this is a family that just did everything right. The father, the mother, they all did everything right. They raised Jamie how society has taught us that we should raise young boys. But it still didn't work out. And it's not their fault either, but of course since they're the parents, they take the full blame. It is just so fucking sad. And it's on the dad's birthday too, so you see him try to have a good time, but throughout the middle of the episode, Jamie calls, and it's implied that this is basically they only communicate with him like once a week through a phone call, and it's just a call to tell them that he's gonna plead guilty. And I was kind of confused at their reaction at first because, you know, I don't know how now I know how it works in the UK because I googled this, but there are a lot of like children who like do murder but end up like getting released and going to live normal lives. It's not all of them, but it's a good chunk of them. So I was kind of surprised at their reaction, but then I googled it. The UK has like a zero tolerance policy for murder. If you murder anyone, your ass is getting sent to the slammer child or not. I was like, God damn. They really just don't believe in rehabilitation for murder. So that was kind of a shock. And at first, they don't really have like a reaction. How do I get out of here? At first, they don't really have a reaction to it. They're just like, okay, son. And then once, like, the big thing in this episode is the mom and dad having a conversation about, like, what has all happened. And it's basically just listing off all the things they did with him. And they're right. They did everything right. They did everything the best they could. They did everything what society has told them raises a good kid. And this still happened. Um, it was just sad, and you hear the dad telling the story about how his dad used to beat him, and that kind of like raised him in the man that he is, and that he would never do that to Jamie, and just look what happened. But it's also like you were involved in his life. You did everything you could. You played with him. You raised him as best as you could, and yet this still happened. It's like, what did I do wrong? It's just a very interesting question. And you just watch them just break down. It is hard to watch. It's just it's all done in one take too. It's so crazy. It is so hard to watch both of these parents just break down. It is so sad. It really is just so fucking sad. You feel so bad for them. Like their little boy is gone forever. He's not dead, but he's not the same kid they thought he was. But they grieve for him like he literally just died, even though he's not. But he's basically gone forever, and he turned out to be not the kid they thought he was. It was just some very sad shit, and it just really hits you in the feel. And oh my god, the last scene, fuck, the last scene is just the last scene is the one that really got me. So basically, the dad visits um, Jamie's room, and the thing that really just made me so upset was the fact that Jamie's room is very just childlike. It's just a very childlike room. Like the color is all like a light blue, like something you expect in like a little boy's room. There's still toys in there. There's like what looks like to be like children's books in there. And the one thing that really, really gets you is still a teddy bear on the bed, and the teddy bear is used as like a symbolization of Jamie. It's just God. It's I'm like trying not to cry right now. It's so fucking sad. Like he was just a young boy, and God, like the dangers of social media really fucking killed this kid. It was it was fucking devastating. The dad just breaks down crying into his bed and tells the teddy bear, "I'm so sorry I failed you." And it's like, I don't think you did, man. I just don't think you did, but I can't I can't guilt him for feeling that way. And just the final shot of that bed, the bear in the bed, ugh. Ugh, what an incredible show. Want to be honest, this is an easy 10 out of 10 if I were to review it. This is just one of the most important shows I think you can watch right now. I really can't recommend the show enough. I think it's super important. Yeah, even though I gave the show a 10 out of 10 and I really fucking love it and just respect it so much, this is a show I can only do one time. I don't think I can never watch the show ever again. This was so fucking devastating and just heartbreaking. I don't think I could go through this journey again. This is very much what I like to call. Well, this is the first because I never had it for a show. Why is my. Anyway, this is a one and done show. A show. Now, I'm going to put a thing on screen here on my letterbox. I have a category called one and done movies, and you'll see Adolescence there. These are basically movies I only want to watch one time, and that was more than enough. I really can't do it again. Now, they either range in three categories. One, they are so incredibly shit I never even want to think about again. So that's why you'll see movies like Suicide Squad and like Madam Web on here. Two, it's just disgusting and I just don't want to even do it again. So you'll see like The Substance on here and The Human Centipede. Just I do really like The Substance. That movie is fucking nasty. And The Latter Camp, which I would place Adolescence in. A movie or show so heartbreaking and so devastating and so sad that I just cannot go through that journey again. I would gladly have put it among the ranks of stuff like Schindler's List and Precious, where it's just so devastating I can't do it again. And that's what I feel about this show. And while it is a hard watch, and it will leave you feeling very sad about the state of a lot of young boys around the world. I do think it's a necessary watch. I do think we need to understand the things that we are consuming. I think we need to be more involved in our kids' lives than a lot of parents are. I often see a lot of parents just shove their kids in front of an iPad and expect basically the iPad to parent them. Now, I'm no parent at all, but I'm just going to say it. I think that's a very shitty thing to do to a kid, just to neglect him like that. I think you can do much better than that. As a parent, I feel you need to be a teacher to their kid, and it's a lifetime job. And sadly, a lot of parents fail to see it that way, where basically it is a lifetime career you're choosing once you have it. But they just see, oh, it's just a kid, blah, blah, blah. It's something you really shouldn't be nonchalant about. You're their life coach. You should be in control of what they're watching, what they're consuming. But yeah, I'm seeing less and less in that. Like, when they go home and when they go to school, they're entirely different people. And a lot of parents are just so unaware of that. Like Jamie's parents were. They were just so unaware of like what kind of kid Jamie really was. And now they're left grieving him, even though he's not even dead. It's just it really is a criticism of parents and like the dangers of social media for a child. And while I know someone probably is saying, "Oh, it's just about how social media is bad for kids," boo hoo. You know what? Yeah, I guess it is. But it really is about much more than that. It's about abandonment. It's about being a better parent to your kid. It's about protecting them. It's about so much more than just social media bad for kids. I don't really think it's social media. I more or less think it's certain type of content that they shouldn't consume. Now, I'm really not one for like censorship. But I think we can all agree that the world would be a lot better place, especially for young men, if content like Andrew Tate and like all this red pill garbage didn't exist. All right. Well, that's really all I have to say about the show. I know I went far in there, but I just had to like let loose. This show just was like a Winter Soldier fucking code for me. It just unleashed something in me. I haven't had a piece of media touch me like this in quite a long time. I swear. It's really been such a long time since I felt like this. So yeah, must watch. I know I went like on a 30-minute tangent about it. I'll probably make that into a video since I think it'd probably be a good discussion. And I know everybody doesn't watch the Let's Plays anymore, so I'll probably I'll probably do what I did with the substance and just like put that audio into a video. Yeah, man, that was an incredibly powerful show. But it really did not leave me feeling good at all. I'm feeling bad for the young boys that grow up in this generation. I'm feeling bad for them, honestly. Feeling bad.